In this video, I'll be covering Cardano BTC or CBTC. It's a platform that is using a centralized way of bringing in these big name assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT, a stablecoin, over to the Cardano blockchain. And when we have these particular assets, we can do a whole bunch of other different things, such as nicely trading on a decentralized exchange, etc., etc. So they're doing some really cool things. I did a previous video with a BTC that is doing the opposite of this. Well, not the opposite, but they're taking a decentralized approach, whereas CBTC, Cardano BTC, are doing it via a centralized way via Huobi Trust. And Huobi is a centralized exchange, and they're using some of their mechanisms to make this happen. They are progressing towards a decentralized version of it, but of course that's going to take more time. And of course, there's security impacts when we're dealing with a decentralized method as well. So Romain joins me on the podcast to talk all about their platform and how things are going. But I thought I'd bring up and have a little overview of their platform. And this beautiful one-page overview brought together by Cardano Daily talks about their platform in general. And we can see here the Cardano BTC cross-chain bridge. We can see what they're doing in the month of March as well. How the method and how the process actually works with connecting with Huobi Trust, transferring the underlying assets such as BTC or ETH, and then creating the C token, the C version of those particular assets, and then having it on the Cardano blockchain. And to reverse that process, it's pretty much burning those C tokens and then releasing them back to the user itself. And of course, there are some fees in the process and whatnot to actually make some money through the process of bringing those assets onto the chain. Now, they do have a lot of investors as well that are making this possible. So ArcStream, Lance Capital, Shima Capital, 98K, Dutch crypto investors are just some of them. And they've gone through seed rounds and I think a pre-A funding round as well. So they're doing it the traditional startup way and getting investors in on board. Now, they also have some partners, of course, Huobi Trust, which is providing the custodial service, and also, interestingly enough, the University of Queensland, who are providing advisory roles to the project itself through in regards to smart contracts and security. And I did reach out to Dr. Marius about this as well, and he responded back kindly, but couldn't speak too much about what they're actually doing. But they do exist, and they do respond to their emails via their university channels. So that's always really good to see. Now let's get into this interview with Romain and learn more about the project. I have Romain joining me on this episode to talk about Cardano BTC. I saw this pop up on the radar and I was wondering, what on earth are these guys doing? Sounds interesting. Is this a Bitcoin version of Cardano? Don't know what it is. I have Romain here to talk all about and explain to us exactly what the project is. Romain, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm pretty excited to talk about a CBTC. And no, it's actually not a Bitcoin version of Cardano. Well, actually, I guess it kind of is, but it's not just that.
All right, so let's find out exactly what it is. But first off, you've got a little bit of an interesting backstory. You're a very well-traveled person. And I'd like to know a little bit more about yourself and how you got into crypto and how and why you ended up now in this Cardano space.
Oh, man. So my story is actually pretty interesting. I was actually an English teacher, believe it or not, when I started. And I felt like, I wanted to do more in the world. I didn't just want to, teaching is important, but I want to do something more. So I went into day trading in the stock market. And that was in around, I think, 2015-ish, something like that. And in 2017, I saw that crypto was online 24/7. And that's important. The stock market, there's like peak hours to trade and to make profit and whatnot. So in 2017, I was like, whoa, let's try this crypto stuff. At the beginning, I wasn't really keen because there wasn't any stable coins. But as soon as the stable coins of the USDT came, I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And so I started day trading, and I fell into this project that was a Chinese project, and I realized that their English was horrendous. So I was like, wait, maybe there's like a little niche here I can, so I contacted them and I started working with them. And just, that led to one project, which led to another. And I helped them with marketing, with translations, with correct English, with everything, with communication, because their communication with the community wasn't very top notch. So yeah, and now I'm here with CBTC, which is Chinese as well. Oh, half Chinese, we'll say. It's Chinese, Singaporean, and kind of from multiple countries. So yeah, that's a little bit, just a tad bit about me. And of course, I've traveled basically all over the world. I speak French, English, and Spanish. I am French. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's really cool. What was your very first exchange that you jumped onto in the crypto space? Do you remember?
Yeah, Binance, straight. It was straight up Binance. Binance was something that, I liked their message. I like, their fees. The fees were amazing. The liquidity was great. Yeah, the fees were just outstanding. It was like 0.1%. In the stock market, it was like minimum $10 per trade. So it was mind blowing for me. So yeah, it was, and then I just never left Binance all the way.
How was your trading experience like from the regular stock market to the crypto market? Like, did you find that you did well in the regular stock market, and did a lot of those skills that you learned there moved and transitioned over to the crypto markets?
So I actually found trading crypto a lot easier. I found trading on the stock market was so technical. Everyone they're always using graphs and different types of signals and whatnot. So it was really hard to actually get the best entries. And then when I went to crypto, since it's open 24/7, and there's relatively new users, I felt like it was a lot easier for me, and I was pretty successful at it, but it was extremely draining. I would spend like 16 hours a day, 17, 18 hours a day following the charts. Yeah. I would wake up in the middle of the night, just look at the charts. So for whoever's watching and wants to get into day trading crypto, it's not easy. You will spend hundreds of hours in front of your computer.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a very similar story to myself. That's why I got out of trading. I just asked. So just want to compare, war wounds, so to speak.
No, it's just, it's super tiring.
Okay. So now you mentioned that you managed to get on projects to do the translations, the English communications for these various Chinese projects. So now you mentioned that, CBTC is a partially Chinese owned one. Can you give us an explanation as to what exactly it is and what are they trying to achieve?
The main thing we're trying to achieve is to add mainstream assets onto Cardano. So when you go onto Cardano today, you don't have Bitcoin, you don't have USDC, you don't have USDT, you don't have any of those huge liquidity type of tokens on Cardano. So we saw this and we're like, hey, let's bridge tokens off Ethereum. So for now, we're doing Ethereum to Cardano, and let's put them on Cardano.
And I can see a lot of value in that. It's so many people hold Bitcoin, so many people have Ethereum. So just bringing some of that value, liquidity over to the Cardano blockchain can help it blossom. But how are you guys doing this? Like, what's the technicals behind it? Like, how do you make Bitcoin appear on the Cardano blockchain? Like, it sounds like voodoo magic.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, it's pretty simple for now. So we're going through a centralized phase. So in order to mint it to Cardano, you'll have to create an account on Huobi Trust. And what happens is and of course it's linked to us. So you'll be sending your tokens to Huobi Trust, and from Huobi Trust, it'll come to us, and then we'll give you the C tokens. It's super easy. Now, why are we doing it this way? Well, I'm pretty sure you've seen in the past few weeks, months, tons of hacks on these bridges that supposedly decentralized bridges, and we didn't want to have any risk. We don't want to have risk on users, so we decided to go through the centralized path for now. And then in the future, we'll see. We do obviously want to go decentralized because decentralization is the way to go. But for now, for security purposes, we're definitely sticking to Huobi Trust.
Well, it's definitely an option. Like, so many people are using centralized exchanges. It's not like they're a bad thing. They're a part of the ecosystem to onboard users on. It's kind of like a gateway into that decentralized world. So using that Huobi Trust is probably a really good idea to easily get that liquidity onto the Cardano blockchain. So cool, brilliant. It's really simple when you explain it like that. But so who or what exactly is Huobi?
Who or what is Huobi? Okay, so Huobi is an exchange, of course. Huobi is an exchange, and part of Huobi, they made a Huobi Trust in order to put on different liquidities and whatnot. And so we're using that to put liquidity onto Cardano. So I guess this is a more simple version.
Yeah, and Huobi's been around for a really long time. It's one of those Chinese exchanges that was quite big in 2017. I think that's the first time I've seen it and was exposed to it. Is that when they started? I can't remember the exact date when they launched.
So actually, I don't know the exact date when Huobi started, but Huobi is one of the major exchanges and has a lot of confident trust. People confidence. People trust the exchange, and that's very important. And that was important to us. We have part of the team that used to work for Huobi. So that's also a very big key point in this, is that we know them personally. So that brings the trust factor a little bit higher up in the scales. Security is number one in crypto. There's so many hacks, scams, things like that. So we just want it to be, one, super user friendly, and two, just safe.
I do like the centralized approach as well, like I mentioned before. One of the biggest hacks that happened recently was that Wormhole one. What was it called? The
Wormhole bridge, right?
Wormhole bridge. That's it. Yeah, that was quite a nasty one. It was 68 million or so in ETH, or 68 million ETH or something. I can't remember the exact numbers.
It was a massive amount. I don't know the numbers exactly because I don't even think they even know yet the whole kind of thing. But it's a massive number. It was kind of like the other bridge, or was it a bridge? 600 million. Someone hacked 600 million from another. I don't know if it was a bridge, but either way, there's just tons of money that's being hacked.
So you mentioned C token. C token as the project token for the CBTC in general. What exactly is that? What's the utility behind it? Can you explain a little bit about what C token itself is? And this isn't the CUSDT or CBTC tokens, but C token itself. Can you explain what that is?
So the C token is a governance token. It's a classic governance token that allows you to vote on whatever happens in the future of the project. So the token will be CBTC tokens. I think there's an extra letter in there that I'm missing, but it's,
I know.
we definitely did make it different from a CBTC. I think I missed the letter in there. But either way, so it'll be a classic governance token. With those tokens, you'll definitely be able to stake, provide liquidity, all that type of stuff. It won't just be a strict governance token.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so it'll be something very similar to what you see on SundaySwap with a Sunday token.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that when we're using this cross-chain bridge that you've got working with the Huobi Trust, so users would be, I'm assuming, locking in their BTC or Ethereum onto that trust, and they're getting the C tokens out of it. back onto like their Cardano native wallet or on their exchange wallet, and then they can move it to a native wallet. Is that the experience? I'm trying to map it out in my head so I can like explain it to people how they'll be using it.
So it would go onto their Cardano wallet. You would first bridge from Ethereum onto, or not bridge, but deposit from Ethereum onto the trust. And then from the trust, we will mint the tokens and put it directly into your wallet. That's exactly. We're just using a simple script, and it works like that for now. Pretty simple, easy to use. And once you want to withdraw, you would do the same thing, just backwards. We would burn the tokens, and then we would give the tokens back to you onto your ETH wallet.
Sounds really easy. It's incredibly easy.
It's what makes it easy is the trust. Is Huobi's trust really? It is centralized. I know people don't like centralization, but it's just super secure. You know, it's safe. That's what we're going for. We do have on a roadmap to go on via the decentralized path, but that's not now. That's mid 2022. So I mean, we'll start working on that. Yeah, so it's soon-ish, I guess. But in the crypto space, that's a long time from now.
I know what you mean. Okay, so with these C tokens, people recognize them as wrapped assets, essentially as Ethereum or Bitcoin. Do they have different versions so you can tell which one's which? So you can say, okay, this one's a version of Bitcoin and a version of Ethereum, or does it just mint out the C token and that's what we're using?
So you'll have every version. You'll have CBTC, CUSDT, CUSDC, C whatever, CDAI, So you'll just add a C in front of whatever asset you have. It's
Gotcha.
pretty easy. And then you can go on to, I know Sunday Swap is one of the biggest swaps on Cardano. We're actually talking with them in order to get C assets onto their platform. They'll bring liquidity, and they'll just overall make Cardano a better chain.
That's amazing, because I'm pretty sure there isn't a stable coin like a mirror of USDT on Cardano at the moment. There are projects that are working on it, but it's not available yet. So to have that on Sunday Swap or even MinSwap, which is launching next week, will be absolutely amazing. So some people have a dollar asset essentially to trade against when they're using their DEXs. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's just no stable coins on Cardano, which people like me, where I don't feel comfortable holding an asset that's super volatile. And maybe, like, for example, in the market right now where you have the crisis with Ukraine and Russia, I don't know if you feel safe holding onto crypto assets that can be volatile. So having the option to go from Bitcoin to USD within Cardano and not have to like panic and find a way to change your assets and whatnot, I think that's important. So yeah, you're right. There's definitely no stablecoin.
Okay. So how much liquidity are you looking at bringing into the Cardano ecosystem? So I'm assuming you're ramping up marketing so you can get people to lock in their assets on the Huobi Trust and convert them over to the various C tokens. How much are you seeing coming in at the moment? Because with the stablecoin, you need huge amounts of liquidity, right? So if people are trading every last other Cardano native token against a native fiat token like CUSDT, you need a lot of it, right? So how much is coming in, and what are we kind of expecting there?
I don't have the exact numbers on how much is coming in, but I can tell you that we do have one of our investors that's helping us with liquidity, that are pulling in millions and millions in order to have that liquidity on Cardano. So that's a short answer for that. But the exact number, I cannot give that to you.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But I did see those large partners. It was like various large banks and large crypto investment firms like jumping on board, partnering up with you guys. I think ArcStream Capital, Dutch Crypto Investors, Shima Capital, Lance Capital. So they're pretty big names, and I'm assuming, I don't know how much money they're putting in to make this liquidity. What do they get out of it? So they provide all this liquidity. Do they pick up fees or something on the way when they're trading? Or what's the deal? How do they make a return?
They make a return they did invest in CBTC. So their main interest is for the project to succeed. So how to make it succeed? Well, by adding liquidity. Their liquidity is there to just make the project succeed. It's as easy as that, really. So they're obviously their investors. They have a percentage of the coins that will, because we don't have tokens yet. We will be releasing tokens. Successfully closed the seed round. Now we're on the A round, and once that closes, I think we'll be set to release a token. We'll have IDOs, and that's basically how they're going to make a return from that. They won't be taking any fees or whatnot.
Now, in terms of a regular user bringing liquidity and locking in their BTC and ETH or whatever, are there fees to convert it over to C tokens or anything? Yes,
there are fees. Okay, so the Huobi Trust custody rate would be 0.07 to 0.4% per year. Okay. The C asset minting fee would be at 0.3% each time. The burning fee would be 0.2%. And then the Huobi Trust withdrawal fee would be 0.1 each time. So all of these are each time.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do have a minimum amount of fees.
Okay. They seem quite low. Like I don't have anything else compared to, because I haven't seen anything else like this. But they seem extremely low, like 0.2, 0.3. So that's similar to what you might get on a liquidity pool on a DEX, for example.
Yeah. Well, we're not here to be greedy. We do want Cardano to succeed, and then we obviously saw that there was a flaw, of course, not having mainstream assets. So we just want it to be as easy as possible, and of course, kind of a win-win situation for both the user and CBTC.
Do you see much competition in the market for you guys? So I know there's one other project called Aneta that is bringing out their BTC version onto Cardano. Do you see many other projects or other players in the industry doing the same and coming on board and bringing those big assets onto the Cardano blockchain?
I'm actually not seeing many, and I think the main reason is because of the coding. Cardano and ETH, they have completely different codes. They don't use the same language. So I think that's kind of a pretty big blockage between developers who want to get onto Cardano from Ethereum and whatnot. They can't, it's not as easy as it sounds. So being one of the first ones to actually be able to bridge on and off is a pretty big milestone for us. And obviously we have to get past that language barrier with ETH and Cardano. As soon as we get to that, which of course we'll be doing in mid 22, hopefully by then won't have any others, or we will have others. I mean, honestly, having more the better, to be honest. Cardano, I feel like in order to succeed, Cardano needs that.
Yeah, that'll be absolutely amazing if we do see more competition on the market. But of course, being first to market gives you that first market advantage, first mover advantage. So that's a pretty good thing too. Now, you were talking about the mid-2022 being able to upskill yourselves in terms of Plutus scripting and possibly implementing the smart contracts to make it a little bit more decentralized. Do you know anything about the development process there? I saw a couple of tweets from the Twitter account, for example, saying that some of your team members are digging deep into the various codes and picking up issues themselves and submitting it as a pull request to improve whatever's being built in Cardano, which is really cool. So do you know much about the development that's going on at the moment, how progress is looking? Are you hiring Plutus devs or anything like that?
So I don't have an actual answer for that. What I can tell you is that right now, we just write a token script for the Cardano C tokens. Now, I'm sure your users or your followers would like to know, who is it audited by and things like that. So the platform is audited by Certic, which I'm sure every single person in crypto knows by now. But there's no need for now for a smart contract in our product model.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I have for now. And of course, as we get things going, the ball rolling, then we'll look more into that.
I have to agree, like minting tokens on Cardano is actually very easy. So if people are coming and listening to this and they're from the Ethereum space, you need smart contracts to mint tokens on Cardano. Whereas in the Cardano ecosystem, you can command line write it from the command line. Punch in a little bit of code, pay your fee, and you've got your native tokens minted. So it's actually really, really easy to do so on the Cardano blockchain compared to Ethereum, Solana, or whatever EVM chain you might be using. So in regards to partnering up with other companies and building this out, are you building up more partnerships or anything like that to try and get the C tokens out into the Cardano ecosystem?
Yeah, of course. We're looking, as I said, we're talking to Sunday. We're talking to many of the big, like you said, Mint as well. We're looking to partner with the main swaps, basically. That's where the liquidity goes to anyway. Yeah. So those are definitely projects that we want to talk to, and help them make their swap better.
So in terms of the roadmap and timeline for the project, you said like by mid-2022, you'll have very smart contracts in play. What's the long-term game plan for you guys? What else do you have in the horizon that we should know about?
So long-term, so I'm going to say long-term, I'm going to say in like a year and a half, we can say that's long-term.
It's pretty long,
That's pretty long term. I can say that we want to have a fully decentralized cross-chain bridge. That is the long-term goal. We also want to establish some ecological incubation funds as well. So those are kind of the two things that this is in a year and a half. Okay, this is kind of the goal that we have for a year and a half. We, in mid-2023, I guess, ensure decentralization services to contribute over 60% of the cross-chain revenue. That's kind of that's a goal of ours as well. But again, that's so in the crypto space, it's just so far away. But yeah.
Everyone wants everything now.
Yeah, it's really hard. And the thing is, that's what our roadmap says. But the industry just changes so fast that may change. It's just, everyone always asks for roadmap. They have to keep in mind that the industry is always changing. Something new comes around, and we want to implement that, or they want to implement this or whatever. So people really have to keep that in mind, that it's just it's not always following the roadmap. It's just getting the best thing possible at that moment in time.
I think a really good parallel for Cardano users is the wallet ecosystem and the amount of wallets that have appeared in the last 3 months alone.
Oh.
So with DeFi forming and evolving, we've gone from the two mainstay wallets in the Cardano ecosystem with Daedalus and Yoroi to another, I think, 6 different wallets that didn't exist this time last year, which is incredible. So that's like a really fast development phase, and some of these wallets are crucial to the DeFi ecosystem now, and people hadn't heard of them last year. They didn't exist. They weren't even made yet. So that's probably a really good example of how fast and how quickly the space changes in terms of development. So yeah, very hard to stick to these roadmaps.
It is. It's really, but yeah, I mean, decentralized finance is, it's, and then more, there's GameFi as well, game finance. I mean, there's so many things that are coming up. So, whoever's listening and is always complaining about not roadmaps and things like that, just, keep in mind that that's maybe not the best thing for any project to actually stick to a roadmap.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, a roadmap is important. I agree. Yeah, of course. A roadmap is important. You have to have kind of goals and stuff. But sticking to it 100%, even if something better comes out, that's not always the best thing. Totally agree.
You've got to be agile and flexible and move with the market. And
sure.
Tomorrow Ethereum might be dead. And if everyone's got all their eggs in the basket and have stuck with Ethereum and can't pivot, all your projects are dead.
Exactly.
Right?
I personally, I don't use Ethereum anymore. I mean, the fees are killing me.
Yep.
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I mean, there's so many better chains now. I mean, Cardano's better, I think. You have all these other chains that are so much better. So Ethereum is just, they have to catch up.
Brilliant. Good to see you're not using it anymore either.
No, I'm not.
little dig there. So how's the community looking at the moment then for the for CBTC? Usually a lot of the communities in the Cardano ecosystem have massive Discord servers. They've got Telegram groups going crazy all day and night. What about the community there for you guys?
For now, I mean, the community isn't we're not that big yet. We still haven't announced partnerships with the big swaps. So our community is just it's coming along. Once we start getting known more and more, I think that's where the community will start to form, and hopefully, we're gonna have an amazing community here at CBTC as well.
Yeah, that'd be great to see. What's the best channels to communicate with you guys and learn more about the project?
So the best channel would be definitely Telegram and Discord, of course.
Yeah.
Those are the two main. I think everyone uses Telegram and Discord for crypto nowadays. So those are the two main ones to contact or to even ask questions or whatever you want. We're here. We'll always answer questions for you.
So for people and users to find out a little bit more about the project, how can they find out more about CBTC?
Best bet is Twitter, Telegram, Discord. If you have any questions, come and ask us, and we're more than happy to come and clear any doubts that you have, about the trust, about the future, about the timeline, about how much we've raised. We want to be as transparent as possible. I think that's really important nowadays. So yeah, you can come and join us. There's no problem in asking questions.
Okay. So in terms of capping this interview off, what excites you the most this year in the Cardano ecosystem?
I mean, all these new projects, all these new, there's so many things that excite me. I don't know if I could just, it's pretty, Cardano, I guess you know what, I'm going to stick with the projects, the new projects that are coming along and making Cardano bigger, because we definitely do need more of these projects like lending protocols and all these things on Cardano. We definitely need that. So I'm going to go on and say all these exciting projects that are coming onto Cardano. I definitely want to see a lending protocol, by the way. So yeah, a really good one with stablecoin and stuff. I'm in. Please sign me up.
They're coming very soon. It's going to be a very exciting year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. Thank you so much, Romain, for coming on to this podcast and talking all about the platform and explaining a little bit more about how it works, all the little intricacies as well. It's been an absolute pleasure to learn all of that.
Thanks for having me. I really like talking to Australians. They're just, I believe they're the best people in the world. I live there, as I said, and just an amazing country. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Just watch out for the spiders.
Yeah, and the octopus.
And everything else that can kill you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got something really cool out of that interview. I certainly did. I learned a little bit more about how this cross-chain bridge actually works with centralized methods. I didn't really understand it or had much exposure to it, but Romain filled up all those little gaps and whatnot. Now, I've put all the links down below in the show notes so that you can find out a little bit more about the Cardano BTC, the bridge, and everything that they're building. You can find out a little bit more about the community. And everyone's talking about the TGE, or the token generation event. So a lot of people that are joining the community are excited about this. I haven't looked too deeply into it, but when they eventually launch their C token, whatever it's going to be called, I didn't quite catch the name. They may change it in the future as well, because it's a little bit of a mouthful. But whatever that token may be, that would probably fund and govern the protocol itself. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that future is going to look like. Now, if you really enjoyed this type of content, please consider giving me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on that notification bell, and you hear more great Cardano-related content from me soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debating.